My name is Bethesda Dogma, and today I'll be showing off some of the stuff I made for a Minecraft add-on. Now, for anyone who doesn't know, on mobile for Minecraft Bedrock Edition, if you go into the App Store, you can actually find an add-on maker, and as you can see, I've already made quite a bit. And it has other sections, like going and finding other add-ons, and then the showcase. Now, the difference between the add-ons and the showcase is that on the showcase, these are add-ons just like these, but these ones were made using the add-on maker. Now, I'm just going to show off some of the stuff I've already made, and then give some tips and tricks on how to get this to work. Because trust me, this app can get complicated. So these here are some crafting recipes. The reason they have such weird names, let me show you those, is due to the fact that I didn't make them manually. You see all these armor sets and tools? Those I made using a pretty cool system that the app has. Templates. Now, currently there are 3 templates. As you can see, you have the ore template, the tool template, and the armor template. Now, just to let you know, the templates were added before Mojang added spears to the game. So, the only tool that does not appear in the tool template is the spear. So, you gotta make that yourself. Which, as much as I don't like that, it's actually quite fun because, well, you have more control over it. So let me just show you examples of the stuff for the ore template. You have 3 types of ore you can go for. Gem, which will give you a diamond texture for the item. Dust, which obviously, as it says, is a dust texture. And then ingot, which is an ingot texture. However, one thing that I should note is the templates were added to this long after the Caves and Cliffs update, yet, for some reason, the ore template for ingots do not include the raw variant. Instead, if you pick ingot, the ore is just going to drop ingots. Weird, I know, but hey, if it works, it works. And I'm kind of a bit lazy, so I don't want to make all the raw versions of the metals I make for this add-on, because that takes a bit. Then I'm just going to show you something. There are no options for the armor template, so you don't have like leather, regular, or netherite. You just have regular is what it'll give you. But you do get to pick a glint. Now for tools and armor, as you can see here, you have to pick a material and then pick a color. Okay? Same thing down here. Material, color. Now, I should note something about the ore template. You can pick a color, and then it'll turn out like this, but then you use that same color on armor and tools, and it comes out like this. That's a bit of an issue sometimes. But considering I don't plan on actually really releasing this add-on anytime soon, I plan on working on it more and more. I'm not really worried about the stuff matching fully. But yeah, when you make the armor and tool, like when you make the ore stuff, these little recipes will appear. Now I'm going to show you some of the original stones I made. Which I made before I figured out how to actually make the textures myself, because I was just using templates with these ones. And trust me, I got a little bit crazy with the names, because why not? So here we have regular Marzite, which looks like this in regular form. We'll get to that in a moment. Then, since I didn't know how to make any good polished textures, I instead used that as a base. And as you can see, the add-on maker has textures of different pixel sizes. See that polished texture right there? Here's a little tip for you. You go in here, and you'll take that little pen there and scroll it all the way to the left. And, so I don't mess anything up and have to go digging again, I'm going to go all the way back up here and show you that when you put that specific texture's pixel size all the way to the largest size, you have your perfect base to make polished stone. And mind you, that trick also works on a few of these other ones, like the emerald, gold, and diamond textures. However, I can tell you something, one texture that it definitely does not work properly on is the granite texture right there. Also, the add-on maker gives pop-ups for a Discord server, so you might see that a few times. And yeah, I have a lot here. But as you can see, for the first stone types I ever made, I also gave them chiseled versions. And for a couple of them, I went and looked up images of specific mobs' faces. Like there's axolotl, slime. That one's supposed to be a silverfish. That one's supposed to be an endermite. Yeah, I am complicated, like really complicated. But then here, we have some crystals. Which, as you can see, these crystals are based off of the dye colors in Minecraft. And here's a thing. Let me pick the red crystal. As you can see, you have a lot here that you can use to customize it. And if you pick ore, you can pick what biome you want it to generate in. And how deep you want it to generate. The whole dang thing right here. We'll get to that later on down the line, because that's not what I'm worried about right now. But all these crystals, I plan on having appearing in the end. Meanwhile, for these blocks, which are body horror based, they're going in the nether. And trust me, I have a lot of them. So the flesh block right here looks like regular, just a lot finer. But then you have the rotting flesh block. Sorry, having issues here. And the bleeding flesh block. Also, I did add acid. This is under the fluid section of the game. Now, I call it the game because it's like that for me. It might not be for you, but it is for me. And the only issue I have with the fluid system, because this is the first fluid I've ever made using this app, it doesn't give you the option to make it damage the player. So, yeah. Not as fun. Then here we have a bunch of tree-related stuff. Note, I will not be making, for most of these blocks, I will not be making stair, slab, fence, wall variants. Sorry, that was a Life 360 notification. But then here's when I started getting really good with my stone textures. Ignore the bile and the blood. And I also made leviathans for the ocean, as well as parasites based on the different flesh types. Yeah, I made a pink stone, deal with it. Real men were pink. Then here's the polished variants. Also, if you're wondering why I chose bloodstone to be like a stone block instead of a gem, it was just a lot more fun that way. I even made brick variants. Now for the rainstone stuff, I'm not exactly proud of it, of how it turned out, but I'm going to keep it nonetheless, because you never know when you might want a rainbow house. Also, I don't like them putting chemicals in the water that turn the freaking frogs gay. Yeah, I made a chemical frog. Just for the fun of it. As you can see, it is very much rainbow. And as you can see, the add-on maker has access to Blockbench. Mind you, I don't really use Blockbench to create 3D models. And I should tell you something. If you have your own Minecraft-based 3D model and you want to import it into the add-on maker, you can't. I've tried it. I've found pretty cool 3D models online. I import the texture into the mob I want to replace it with, and the texture breaks itself around the model of the original mob. So instead of giving it a new model, it just breaks. Yeah, this thing is finicky. But I'm going to show off some of the Leviathans I've made, if I can find them. So to start us off, we have the Pith Leviathan, which is based off the Tylosaur. You might be saying, wait a minute, isn't this custom? Well, yeah, the add-on maker has the vanilla mobs and then custom mobs. And here's how the Pith Leviathan turned out. I heavily based its color scheme off the Reaper Leviathan from Subnautica, just because I liked the color scheme. But yeah, there's the Pith Leviathan. Then we have the Deep Pit Leviathan. Is a crab. Money, 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 money. Then we have the Blood Crown Leviathan, which is glow squid based. Which mobs also have a lot of stuff you can do with them, but we'll get to that on a later date. Then we have the Puff Rot Leviathan. Oh, I did not realize this was going to do that. So we're going to back out of that, and I'm just going to show you the 2D texture. Nothing special. I just like it. Then we're going to go back up to the Sulfur. I'm just going to call it the Sulfur Leviathan. Look at this. Looks like he could bite through a school bus. Heck, it kind of looks like a school bus. But yeah, that's the Sulfur Maw Leviathan. I made him. The only reason I made him was because of the Chaos Cubed update. Then we have the Void Star Leviathan. Sorry, that's the 2D texture, but Starfish. Patrick. But yeah, Starfish. Then we have the Kelp Leviathan. Is a shrimp. He's shrimpy, but he's deadly. Then the last Leviathan I made, the Floor Walker Leviathan. I know that looks tiny, but I swear I'm going to make him bigger. But yeah, he is the only Leviathan I made who is not using an aquatic animals model. Instead, I used a beetle model. Roll for the fun of it. Look how cute he is, though. He's just a little guy. Now, let me show you some of the parasites I made. First, we have the blood parasite. It actually has teeth. Those little pale tan things. Yeah, that's supposed to be teeth. Then we have the flesh parasite. He literally just looks like a homunculus. Never make a teleporting homunculus. Never do it. Then we have the rot parasite. He's essentially a zombie homunculus with the cross on the side of him. That was an accident, I swear. Going up. I also made more body horror. I completely forgot about the Leviathan right there. Let me show him off real quick. The Sun Spear Leviathan. He's a narwhal. Note the narwhal model does not have those ridges on it. I just added them in the texturing. I didn't want to make him just a regular narwhal. Ignore that. That's Blockbench being... You see that little purple nub right there off the side of that plane of the fin? Ignore that. That's Blockbench being stupid. Yeah, we have the muscle block. Variants for bleeding and rotting. And then I also added pus flesh block and a pus muscle block. And then a pus parasite. Let me show him off. It's just a pus homunculus. Also, if you're wondering why I'm adding so much body horror to this, it's because I have plans. Because I do, after I make a couple add-ons and I finish documenting the process for each of them, I'm going to make a Bedrock Edition Minecraft world and add some of the add-ons to it. And then show you how it works. Granted, the add-on maker is a bit finicky and temperamental. So I have had situations where I add the add-ons to Bedrock in the past, and they break. Like, I can still enter the world, but some of the stuff is missing, or some of it is, like, broken in terms of how it looks. But then here we also have the sinew block. I don't know if that's how you say it. I don't know how to say it. But those little, like, white things in there, yeah, those are the sinews, like the tendons. Then we have crystallized blood. I also made opal stuff separate from the other stuff, because opal is very complicated, because it's literally every pastel color under the sun at one time. It's just like, oh my lord. Keep going. You see, this is how the titles of recipes look when you make them yourself. Then here you have more ore. I also made void fluid. I got bored and I made a void fluid. Note, I have no idea how the fluid blocks work because this is the first add-on I've ever done using them. So they could either work like water and lava or they work like powdered snow. Oh yeah, here's a fluid that I called pus. Yeah, that's gonna be nasty. Then here's a whole boatload of some of the other stuff I made. Now look at each of these gemstones, because yeah, they're all gemstones. Each of these gemstones here exists in real life. You got iolite, you got kyanite, you got legrandite, you got I don't know how to say that. Eosphorite, creedite, citrine, moonstone, brookite, crocodite. I think that's how you say that. Cooperite. Don't know how to say the green one. Cerulite, epidote, chambersite, painite, peridot, benitoite, azurite, apatite, spinel, and econite. The only one I cannot say with confidence, is that one. This one right here. Here's a lot of the stuff I made over time. This is what happens when you let someone who's bored out of his mind mess around with pixel art and texturing. Like, look at all this. Note, the textures for the gear I did not make. The textures for the block I did. Granted, I used a template. And for some of these ores that are like in Endstone or Netherrack, I made those too. I also made the Deep Slate versions. Which, I should tell you this right now. Deep Slate versions are not available in the add-on maker as something you can make using a template. I had to quite literally go up here, texture, blocks, go to the search, type in Deep Slate, collect the colors, open Google, find an image of the Deep Slate texture, and then jump back and forth to make a Deep Slate texture, and then jump back and forth again to add the ore texture to it. But then another mob I made, one that I'm really proud of, we have Decay. This is going to appear in the body horror biome I'm going to make. So are the parasites, and so is this corpse beetle. Yeah, it's not perfect, but it works. And just like the floor rocker Leviathan, he's just a little guy. Yes, he is. Flip him upside. Oh, I can't flip him upside down. Darn it. I also used the silverfish to make silkworm, which I don't know how to code it to drop it on its own, so I may be stuck making the only way to collect silk to be killing it, and I made dyed versions of the silk. And I also made gold silk and a gold silkworm. Let me show you the little guy. This is what the gold silkworm looks like. Cute, isn't he? Now, you see these 3 body horror blocks right here? These are a part of a block type called animated. So, you have frames. Now, I'm not very good with making animated versions, so this might look wrong. Okay? So here we have it with the size closed. Here it's opening, fully open, closing, fully closed. Then we have the pores opening on the pore block. The heartbeat block slowly showing the blood flow. And then the maw block slowly opening its mouth. Yeah, this is what happens when you give someone too much time on their hands, isn't it? But let me show you off some of the other stuff, like more up close in person. Because you see all these special blocks here, like these special ores for the gemstones. Not only did I base them off of real life gemstones, but yeah, on the website I used to find them, the International Gem Society, I also colored them based off the image they provided for each gemstone. Because some of these gemstones appear in other colors. Also, I was going to make fluorite, but I accidentally typed in fluorine and it was too late to go back. So yeah, pretend the purple stuff here says fluorine, please. I beg of you. I'm begging you. Like, do I have to get down on my hands and knees and beg? Nah, I'm just kidding. But yeah, I have no idea how most of this is going to work or if it's going to work. I am not going to lie to you on that. Because the add-on maker has changed quite a bit. When it first released, you couldn't make custom stuff. All you could do was edit some of the pre-existing stuff. Okay? Like, that's all you could do. But now, look at it now. You can make a lot of custom stuff, or you can edit some of the normal stuff. But let me show you something. You see that structure thing there, it doesn't work. You have to download a whole nother app, and it still doesn't let you let them in. Then if you go to the biomes, and you see this, or you can add a new one. First, you got to pick the biome it replaces, though. That is how I'm going to make the body horror biome. I'm going to pick one of the biomes and replace it with body horror. Actually, hang on. Let me check something real quick. Because I don't want to mislead anyone who's watching this. So... well, I'll be. Yeah, it works. So yeah, we'll get to that eventually, but for now I just want to show off some of the other stuff. Like, let me show you some of the custom mobs. Like, you have dinosaurs. Downside, oh wait, that's actually different. But look at all these. I have no idea how half of these work. Not gonna lie to you. I just let the add-on maker do the coding for me because I can't code. Now to the vanilla mobs. The only vanilla mob I know of that is missing from this list is the tropical fish. And that is because for these mobs, they include variants. Tropical fish have over like 3,000 variants. So I can understand why they wouldn't put this in here. Here's the only difference, though. The Ender Dragon cannot be used to make a custom mob. And the same thing goes for the donkey, the horse, and the mule. Other mobs, however, are in here. Like, minus those 4, the other ones you can customize to your heart's content. Which reminds me, I need to make a pus slime. So I'm going to show you my process. So, here we go. Sorry if I'm being a bit quiet here. I'm trying to focus, but I should let you know something about making the colors transparent. It doesn't always carry over, so me going out of my way to make this transparent could be a complete and utter waste of my time. Because I've tried it with items before, and stuff, but that doesn't seem to work. They always seem to become opaque again. And by the time they're, done and in actually being used in Minecraft. Now I'm making 2 slime variants for the body horror biome. The pus cube and then a blood-based one. And this could work quite well, or it could not work whatsoever. Heck, I might even add like body horror NPCs to the biome, because one thing the add-on maker does not give you the ability to do is, making dimensions. And I should probably get to one other thing I gotta tell you about in a minute, but we'll get to that bridge when we get to that bridge. Okay? So as you can see, bus cube. We go in here. As you can see, this is what the inside looks like. But we won't see the outer shell and block bench for some reason. Then we go here. We do that. And make the egg. Then we're going to jump right on back to the slime and make a blood version. So we're going to make this one called... sorry about that. Hope I didn't blow anyone's eardrums out. But let's call this... We'll just call it a blood cube for the sake of it. Oops, wrong version of blood. So, we go back here. And we do the whole thing all over again. Actually, that turned out quite well. Alright. So as you can see, this turned out quite a bit differently than the pus cube did. Because with that little paint bucket down there, yeah, that one's a bit finicky too, I'm not gonna lie to you. Basically, it picks, once you select a color, it'll color that in, and the surrounding ones that match that color. But if another color is just close enough, it'll also overtake that color, which can be a bit difficult to deal with. Like, I won't lie to you, it can be difficult. And I know it might not be a good idea, and I know Minecraft and body horror probably don't go together, but that's not what matters to me. What matters is that, I have plans for the body horror blocks. I plan on making a build with this that's supposed to show off, that's supposed to be like scary and stuff. Because one of my favorite things to build in Minecraft when I find the perfect spot to do it is a Sarlacc pit. You know, the thing from Star Wars, for those of you who are under a rock, a Sarlacc is a massive creature that burrows deep under the ground, creates a pit, and eats anything that falls into it. Which I know I probably didn't have to explain it, but I felt like explaining it anyways. So boom, blood cube. It's blood, but cubed. let's see, what else can we add to the body horror dimension? Because the NPCs, like the ones that are based on the NPC, I'll probably add off camera. Because it'll take a long time to hunt for those skins. And, yeah, I don't know how to edit a video currently, so back to showing off some of the other stuff. So if you look at a special kit here, you got these. So this item will allow you to teleport back to where you just died, and this item will teleport you back to your spawn point. It's essentially a warp stone with extra steps. Not sure I want to add those to the add-on. I'll think about it, though. Also, if you're wondering what this is, so before spears were added to Minecraft, the add-on maker added their own spear. That's the regular texture. And this was the projectile. It was quite literally 3D. And it worked pretty similarly to a trident. Granted, it still does work, I'm just not going to use it for this add-on. Unless I want to give it to the, hang on, does the decayed, the decayed is based off of the parched. So let me see if it, yeah, it has an equipment section, nice. So I will actually make that spear real quick. So I'm going to actually show it off. Decaying. You'll do decaying pike. As you know, like a special weapon. Nope, wrong one. So boom, decaying pike. Now let's find the texture. Bada bing. Bing, bada boom. Then we'll how am I gonna go about this? I'll do my best to make it look like bone, actually. Okay. And there's the base texture. Then I'll take the 3D bullet. So yeah, this is a bit more of a complicated one, because it's going to be all 3D and stuff. And it is a throwable weapon from what I remember. It's been a while since I've actually, used it and stuff. I was a bit busy trying to work with the other stuff. Because, one thing I should warn you about. Every now and again when the add-on maker gets updated, you remember the armor template I showed you, right? Yeah, that breaks every now and again when the app gets updated. Yeah. Because this isn't just me documenting me making an add-on and stuff. Nah, this is also supposed to be a learning experience for anyone who wants to, make a Minecraft add-on but doesn't really know how to do it. Because I'm not claiming to be an expert. I am nowhere near being an expert. Okay? Never will be either. Because there are still a lot of features of the add-on maker that I don't understand. And I am more than willing to admit that. Alright. But, yeah. I should, So yeah, as you can see, this is the last thing I'm going to show you guys for now. Until I have enough time to, get back to you. But this is one of the, earlier videos that I'm going to be making. Because I'm definitely not going to stop. It just won't be consistent. Because there's a lot I have to show you, and there's a lot I'm sure you'd want to see. But as you can see... Oh wait, there is one thing I want to show you actually after I'm done with this. It's a little goof that I noticed. So for this model, here's what it looks like. All nice and cool looking. But then if you go down to from the 3D bullet to the 3D projectile, yeah, it completely changes. Yeah. Yep, there it is. The decaying pike. Now, let me go down to my boy, the decayed. And bada bam. The decayed now has its pike. Well, anyways, I gotta get going. I know I didn't get much done, but I just wanted to show off some of the stuff I made and give a few tips and tricks. So until next time, this is Dogma, signing off.